In Broadway and Beyond, we spotlight 9-time Tony Award-winning musical, The Book of Mormon. Tonight marks its 5,000th performance after lighting up Broadway since 2011 and winning the Tony for Best Musical. Here's a clip.
2 by 2, we're marching door to door, 'cause God loves Mormons and he wants some more. A 2-year mission is our sacrifice. We are the army of the Church of Jesus Christ.
Joining me now are actors Kevin Clay and Jordan Matthew Brown, who play the lead roles of Elder Price and Elder Cunningham. I just saw the show for the very first time and blown away.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That's great to hear after 5,000 performances.
I know. I feel like I've been the last one to see it. And it's so like every time something happens, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So I think that's like the reaction for a lot of people. So Kevin, how would you explain the story? You've been with the Book of Mormon since 2015 and also your character, Elder Price.
Yeah, so the soundbite of the story is there are 2 Mormon missionaries, very different from one another. One is your clean-cut, perfect, ideal missionary, and the other, not so much. And they are sent on their mission to Uganda, where they face the harsher realities of the world than they have come to expect up till this point. And I, Elder Price, I am what I think is the perfect, ideal missionary. I'm going to change the world with my faith.
And Jordan, you started with the show on the national tour and now play Elder Cunningham. Tell us how you got into that role.
Yeah, of course. I began on the tour, and that's where Kevin and I met, as this standby for this role. So I'd go on at a moment's notice, just ready backstage, never knowing when I was going to get to go on. And then eventually I was lucky enough for the Book of Mormon to let me take over and play the role full time. And it's just been a dream come true.
Oh, that's fantastic. And Kevin, what do you think it's going to feel like to perform in tonight's milestone 5,000th performance?
It's surreal because this is a really unique thing for Broadway shows. I mean, not very many shows last this long and get the opportunity to entertain so many people. So I think it's an excellent reminder in a concrete way of the impact that this show has had, not only on Broadway, but around the world at this point, with tours and European tours and Australian companies and the West End, So I think it's going to be a really special reminder to get up there and to be a part of something that's quite a big, meaningful show, and especially meaningful for me. It's so far been the entirety of my career in this business has been this show.
And, there's so many, different conversations going on about the Book of Mormon, because when you haven't seen it yet, you just hear things and you're not quite sure until you actually see it. In fact, my mom, who's quite straight-laced and religious, years ago, she had said, I want to go see the Book of Mormon. And I'm like, I don't think you want to go see the Book of Mormon, Mom, because we don't even curse in our house. So you can imagine. What would you describe the message about the show?
Well, that's my favorite thing about the show, is that it's not, yes, the word on the street that you hear is, Mormon, it's funny, it's a little bit brash, it's irreverent, all of those things. And the creators of our show, they certainly use those tools to get the audience a little bit off balance and maybe out of their comfort zone sometimes, to then hopefully get you perfectly primed for the message of the show, which ultimately is very positive. It's very much about building faith-based communities that serve their community at large, that it's not about the individual details of any given religion or faith or the rules or et cetera, et cetera. It's about, those feelings of hope and faith and community and friendship in the case of Elder Price and Elder Cunningham. And that's what I love. The final scene of our show. Stick through to the final scene of the show, and you'll feel all sorts of feels.
No, definitely. I love the friendship part. That was so meaningful. So for both of you, what advice would you give to anyone who dreams to perform on Broadway? I mean, that is the big dream. Jordan, let's start with you.
Ooh, oh, I think that's such a great question, especially because it is, I know for Kevin and I both, that's been the thing that we always wanted. And so I'd say keep going, keep studying, keep learning, and keep having fun. So much of this gets to feel so serious, but the joy of it, and especially doing a show like Book of Mormon, the joy of it is the fun with each other and the relationships that you create. So I think just keep moving forward and really keep going. If you want it, you'll find a way. I really believe that.
Yeah, Kevin?
The part that you just said, Jordan, that resonates with me is keep studying and keep learning. That was the biggest thing for me. If you really love Broadway, if you really love musical theater, I still now, even though every night I'm performing, a huge majority of the music that I listen to are soundtracks and talking about shows. And I don't see as many shows these days as I should, but going to see shows and, watching things, discussing with your friend, like being involved in the medium of musical theater helps keep you inspired and keep you driven and fresh.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, I have to say, after seeing the show the other night, I just kept having that hello song in my head. So it's so funny.
It gets stuck in there. It gets stuck in there.
I know, it really does. Thank you so much for being with us. Break a leg tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you can catch the Book of Mormon at the Eugene O'Neill Theater.